What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big John and G, the Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. How's it going, everyone? And welcome to Thursday. Here we are on a Thursday. And I want to thank everyone that's been subscribing to Two Gun Pixie. That is very awesome, but not as awesome as you. So thank you very much for that, as well as going and checking us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're all about that. And we got some merch at the official Two Gun Pixie Zazzle store. Now that we got that out of the way, my friends, how's everyone doing? What's going on? What's shaking? What's happening? What it is. And today, what it is a follow-up from what you just saw yesterday. No, you just saw before. Double day drop. Yeah. So following the setup of Neon Knights 2086. I always get the year mixed up. I always want to say 2068. Don't know why. Following the setup, we're going to learn how to play the game. So this is a game set in the future, obviously by the title, and it's a combat car racing game. Parts of it definitely make me think of Twisted Metal 2, the old PlayStation game. And when I say 2, because that was my favorite one of the bunch. So yeah, we're going to figure this out. We got things going down on the table, and we're going to see how we work it from turn to turn, how we build the track, how we race the track, how we prepare for race day. So I'll see you all down at the table. Welcome to the world of Neon Knights, my friends. Now, to start off with, I just want to let everyone know that this game is played in 3 races. Races are what they call rounds. Now, each of these races has 3 phases that you're going to be playing through. The preparation phase, the action phase, and the racing phase. Let's take a look at each of them. The preparation phase is broken into 2 parts: fan bet and create the track. For fans bet, you're simply going to shuffle the fan deck, which is a small mini deck with the $sign on it, and you're going to deal 1 to each player. Now, remember to keep this card hidden from the other players. You're only going to see it yourself. Don't let anyone else take a look. And you can place the rest of the deck off to the side of the board. Don't worry, you're going to be needing that again later. Next, the player with the least victory points, or if there's a tie, then the player that is last on the order track will choose 8 tiles, 8 racing tiles, in order to make the track with. Remember that all the track tiles must fit within the designated area. Now on to the action phase. During the action phase, which is going to be happening 6 times in a row, because you do an action phase once for 6 days, building up to the race, which is on the 7th day. So in turn order, each of the players will get to choose 1 action that they will be able to do per day. Those actions are Get Sponsored, which allows you to take one of the Space Up sponsor cards, or draw one from the deck, and place it on your player board. Visit Shop. This is going to allow you to buy one of the Face Up parts from the shop and add it to your install. You can buy an upgrade, that's another choice, and this you'll be able to buy and attach to the corresponding slot on your card. Draw a fan bet. Now this one will, same thing, will allow you to draw a fan bet card from the deck or the discard. If you need to, you can take an action to repair armor. Now for every 5 chips, every 5 money units that you spend, you will be able to repair 1 point of armor. And then finally, you can install implants. Yes, this is what lets you install the implants right onto your player board directly. The players will continue until the 5th round During the 5th round, something is going to change, and that is payday. Each of the players is going to discard their sponsor card, and by doing so, they will then receive the bonuses that are written on those cards. You will raise your company tokens and your currency tokens by the value that is dictated by each of those cards. Then after that, each player takes his normal action. On day 7, you do not get any actions that day. You do not receive the benefit of taking any actions that day because day 7 brings us into the final of the 3 phases, and that is the racing phase. To start the racing phase off, each player should simultaneously decide where they want to start on their speed grid. When each player knows where they want to start, then all players will put their marker on that space. During the very first racing round, the player in the number 1 spot, pole position, will start the race off. That player will move a number of spaces on the track equal to the current speed that they have chosen. No more, no less. Then the player in the number 2 spot, and so on and so on. Now, remember, you cannot use any weapons, shields, or specials during the first round of the race. However, the danger lines will apply. After all the players have moved, you're going to be rearranging the player order on the board. You're going to put the fastest player first and the slowest going last, according to their current speed. Now, if there is a tie, then you have to check the power rating of the part of the car with the matching color. The highest score takes the slot. During the player racing turns, the player will be able to do one of 3 things. Cruise, which means you're not going to move your speed token at all, you're just maintaining your speed, you're cruising along. Or you'll be able to accelerate. If you wish to accelerate, you're going to be able to accelerate the number of spaces equal to what the bonus on your yellow and green parts equal. If you choose to decelerate, you will be able to move your speed token to the number of spaces equal to 1 plus the bonus from your orange and red parts. Optionally, if your speed is 2 or 3, then before you move your car, you will be allowed to repair 2 armor points for free. Next, you'll be moving your car. Now remember, you can only move your car through spaces in front of you or diagonally for 1 movement point. You can move through other players' cars and you can land on the same spot, but if you do, you might slam into the opponent. We'll get to that in a moment. Weapons and upgrades can only be used before and or after your movement. You cannot use weapons and upgrades during your movement. And you cannot cut corners during your turn. You also cannot make U-turns. As mentioned earlier, there are danger lines. Now, thematically in the game, these are neon lights that have been physically placed into the very pavement of the racetrack itself to warn the drivers of the speed limits and dangers coming up. So in-game, what this means is that whenever your car touches one of these lights, if it's going faster than the color speed of that light, you're going to have to momentarily stop to check for damage. Now, if you have movement left after that, you can continue onward. If your speed is in the red zone on the player's board, then you can move freely through these lights. If you are in the orange, then you can move freely through the yellow and orange lights only, but not the red. If you are in the yellow speed zone, you can move freely through yellow lights only, but not through orange or red lights. Finally, if you are in green speed, you must check for damage when touching any danger lights. When checking for damage, count the colors from your current speed to the color of the line. That's how many dice you're going to roll. The damage icons will indicate how much damage that your car has taken and how much speed that you lose. Now, you can't be in a dangerous situation where you need to check for damage and it not affect your fans. So whenever you take damage from a danger line, you are going to lose one fan, regardless of the amount of damage that was rolled. Now, if you roll the damage dice, and the damage icons do not come up, then you're going to gain one fan per die for performing such an awesome and amazing stunt. Fans will give you a bonus point at the end of the race. Now, if you are at your maximum number of fans, and you therefore cannot gain any more, then you're going to get a chance to convert the next fan point that you get directly to victory points. If you've taken enough damage to bring your armor below 1, then on your turn, you're going to end that turn and bring your speed down to 2. You can never go below 1 armor. You can continue racing, but will have only 1 armor at the start of your next turn. If you take enough damage from weapons or slams to bring your armor below 1, then you're going to bring your speed down to 2 and your armor back to 1. And now, earlier I mentioned slamming. So when all players have finished moving their cars, if a car is in the same spot as another, they are going to slam into each other. When this happens, each player involved gets to roll a die to see how much damage they take. If you do not roll a damage icon, then you gain a fan instead. Again, if you have maximum fans, you will gain it as a victory point. Fans do love watching the cars slam up against each other. Now, you will notice that on the track tiles there are icons. These are activation spaces. And when you land on one of them, you will be able to reactivate a corresponding item on your car. This means that you're going to be able to take one of the cards that you've already used and had to put face down and bring it back face up, meaning that it is active again and ready to be used. If you end your movement on a repair icon space, then you can spend credit to repair your armor. 5 chips per armor point to be repaired, as usual. If another car is already stopped on an activation space, they are also effectively blocking it, because only one car can end their movement on an activation space at a time. After each player has moved, play will continue, and it will continue so until one player reaches the finish line. The first player to cross the finish line will then place their car on the starting grid. They will place their car on the spot equal to the number of players in the game. Yes, they will be starting last. They will gain that many victory points, however, plus 1 extra victory point for every fan that they still have at that point. Likewise, coming in second will put that player 1 spot ahead of the player that had come in first. You're going to gain that many victory points, just as the previous player did, plus any victory points for any fans that you have remaining. And this will continue until the last player passes the finish line. When the race is over, the first thing that you're going to do is check your fan bet. If you've accomplished goals on your fan bet cards, then you will gain the reward listed at the bottom and then discard it. When you complete a betting card, place it face up in front of you, but obtain the reward after the race. These can make you win chips and even victory points. You're going to change the player order track according to the victory points. The player with the least points will become the first player. Second to last will become the second player, and so on. In case of a tie, the player farthest back in the starting grid will win that tie. Before you start the next race, you're going to end with the cleanup phase. All face-down cards attached to player boards will be discarded to their respective piles. Discard all cards in each row of the board and reveal new cards to fill up the empty spaces, just as you did during the setup. You're going to return the calendar marker back to day 1. Each player puts their fan tracker back up to 5. Shuffle all the discarded and completed fan bet cards into the deck. And then remove all track tiles from the board. After cleanup, start a new game round from the preparation phase. And that's the basics. That's all the basics that you need to know to get started in your first game of Neon Knights. thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for checking out Two Gun Pixie over at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's always nice when you go over and see what we're doing over there. I also want to give a great big shout out. Thank you so much to everyone that's been going over to the Two Gun Pixie Zazzle store. I've noticed we've made a few sales from our nerdy and RPG inspired hats and hoodies and steins and mugs and mouse pads. So I want to thank everyone that's been going over and checking those out. Even if you haven't bought anything, thank you so much just for, taking a couple of moments out of your time, out of your life, just to take a look and see if there's anything there you like. That's super cool. Thank you so much, everyone. But the biggest thank you, as always, it's right here. It's right here on YouTube, our home. You come over here and you subscribe to our channel, you watch our videos, you comment on them, you like them, and you share them. You share them. Thank you so much for letting other people know that you think that we're worthwhile, that you think they should check us out and give us a try. That's amazing of you. So in this holiday season that I'm filming this, I just gotta say, you are what I give thanks for. All right, everyone, I'm your buddy Big John and G for Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming, and my friends, I am out of here.